This episode of Capes and Lunatics is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. Get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
I like the Dick Grayson.
Hello and welcome back to another week of the Nightwing News. I am Phil. Joining me as always is...
I'm Kristen.
Yes, and we got one of my personal favorites, something a little different. Are we going to talk about Nightwing or are we going to talk about Batman? Oh, hey, we're going to talk about both. All in one convenient package.
Beat that.
The best Batman, thank you very much.
Oh!
A Batman in touch with his emotions.
Well, that's not hard to do.
Friendly Batman. So yes, tonight we're talking, because we're going to be doing this for this and 3 more episodes. So part 1 today, whenever you're listening to this, we'll be covering Batman 512, Batman Shadow of the Bat number 32, and Detective Comics 679, all from November 1994.
Prodigal. Dick Grayson dons the cowl.
I love how they put that on the cover. Yeah,
is the subheading.
Because here, hold that up. That's gonna be the cover art for this episode. Yes.
Heck yeah, it's classic.
Yep.
So that way you're like, oh my god, there's 2 Batman on this picture. Who is who? This one's Bruce. This one's Dick.
That's right.
I'm like not coordinated enough when I'm looking at myself backwards. I'm like...
Yeah, because it's like looking in a mirror, yeah.
Not pointing the right...
All right, so yeah, no current Nightwing news because comics are still on hold because of that dang coronavirus. But yes,
yep. But that's why it's good that we've got these past ones to talk about.
Yes,
otherwise we'd be left bereft.
We are here to entertain you people.
Right.
All right.
So I was telling Phil that there's a in the trade paperback. There's like a it's like Prodigal Zero, which happens to be Robin Zero. So wait, this wasn't part of 0 Hour.
It was weird. They did
that was Robin 10.
They did the 0 hours, where time was all funky in everyone's book, and then the next month they did all the 0 issues, which basically they told like the modern origins, because with some of these characters some stuff changed after 0 hour. So
okay, all right, well that kind of makes sense then, because this one called Brothers in Arms, so there's your Nightwing.
Yep.
Boom. Nope, that can't get my finger right. There it is. Nightwing. And yeah, okay, it's mostly a recap. They're standing there waiting to bust some skills in there, and so Tim's asking Dick a bunch of questions, and so Dick gives him the kind of brief, like, yeah, Batman, and then we have a little bit with the Two-Face thing, which, since we did, wasn't it a judge in Robin Year One?
Yeah.
Because in this one, it's the district attorney, the guy who was Harvey Dent's successor. So that kind of lays that groundwork. Then we get a hot second about Jason, a reminder, like, Jason stole the tires off the Batmobile, and then he got killed by Joker. And they're already kind of playing up that whole, like, Jason, because Dick even says he took chances, openly defied Batman's orders, and that's what killed him. He went solo against the Joker. I was like, no, what killed him is the Joker being a jerk and deciding to murder a teenager, but okay. Yeah. And then we have a quick recap of Tim showing up and being like, hey, Batman needs you. And also setting it up. Something Two-Face is like angsting in his cell. And then a reminder that one of his parents are dead. My parents are dead. And then, finishing up with, a Dick getting beat by Two-Face. Like, punched out. You hear that? Okay. And then then it sets it up saying, Bruce is like, I messed up giving it to John Paul. And Tim says, I don't think you have a thing to worry about, Bruce. You made the right choice this time. True. And then Dick, I can't replace you, Bruce, but I'd be lying if it said it's not going to be Wild standing in for you. And there's where we get the picture.
Yep. That's why Robin. That's why number 0 was in there. Robin 0 was in there. Yep. Setting up the Two-Face stuff. Yep.
So that way, in case you were like, I highly doubt it if you're listening to this podcast, but in case you thought, who's Robin? Boom, there you go. It was all nicely summed up for you.
It's funny. I guess they wanted Bruce as part of like 0 Hour as Batman because it's like Nightfall ended. The very next month was 0 Hour. The month after that was the 0 issues, like retelling the origins and everything. And then boom, Dick takes over.
Yeah. Well, you know.
I guess they just wanted Bruce as Batman for the big company event.
Well, and I imagine that partially they're using 0 Hour and stuff like that as a, periodically they do this, hey, this is a good jumping on place.
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
This is
Definitely.
So it could have been that.
And again, like I said.
But I also...
Like we were talking about, it might have been last time. Like I said, I think, they changed a few little things. Like, now it's like, oh, Joe Chill didn't kill Bruce's parents. Now it was like, oh, I never found out who killed my parents.
Yeah. One other thing I find so interesting is when you got something, because a lot of the graphic novels, it's all one writer and it's all one artist, and you don't have that in this one. And so it's so interesting to see kind of how different the art is in some of these. And it's funny because I would say the art is sort of more vibrant in Robin. But you would think that Batman would be the flagship book.
Yeah, it's just weird because, this went through all the Bat books at the time. So it was like, there was different writers, different art teams. So it's almost like if you read it in the trade, it's like you're reading a chapter by chapter, and each chapter is done by a different, writer and artist.
Yeah. But then it'll come back, too.
Yeah, then it comes back.
Yeah. So, yep. Okay, so now we're at Prodigal Part 1.
Yep, Batman
Who
512.
could be that villain on the cover?
In the sewers once again, because all the Croc stories at this time, I swear, either begin or end in the sewer.
Yeah, but this is so fascinating because this is basically a redo of that very last one. That's the cover page, and it's so different. It's like so 80s.
Prodigal Part 1.
But I do like that. I do like that kind of throwback.
Robin and Batman.
And to the old-timey logo. It's kind of snazzy.
But I just love the
Dick's cape, it's all like practically sentient in there. It's so big.
Oh yeah, 90s Batman. Gotta have the big cape. But
yeah.
I love Bruce, because Nightfall was like 2 months ago. I can't make a bad judgment and leave Gotham in the wrong hands again. And Tim's like, nah, I think this time he made the right choice.
Yep. Although, it's funny, he did make the right choice, but Prodigal must last not as long as John Paul Valley was Batman, right?
Oh no, yeah. John, he was Batman for like a year, so and this is...
What?
Well, yeah, because you think about it, he takes down Bane in issue 500, and then he was Batman, if not a year, it's pretty close. I'll say at least 10 months, because, Batman 510 was, part of Night's End, and then 511 was 0 Hour, so it was at least 10, 11 months, yeah.
So I wonder if that's part of the reason that they... tried out a Rob. Well, I think that because they'd done those Robin miniseries and they'd sold well, but it kind of made sense to launch a Robin ongoing.
Yeah.
During that time because John Paul Valley was very clear that he didn't want anyone's help.
Exactly. Yeah, it made sense where Robin was on his own. Yeah.
So. Yep.
Dick's base.
All right. So we got Killer Croc ready.
Coming out of the river.
And then Dick having a quick tour of Wayne Manor. And we've got a couple funny things. Tim mentions to him, I can't believe you can actually cook. Dick, I like to eat. Tim, so does Bruce, but he had to order Chinese last night.
Yes, because Alfred's gone because, during... while Bruce was still recovering, Alfred's like, you're going to permanently damage yourself. Your back's still, healing and stuff. And Bruce wouldn't stop. So Alfred was like, well, then I'm done. Goodbye. Which we'll get to after Prodigal, where Alfred's at.
Yep. And Dick's hair, his hair doesn't look as long when he's just Dick as when he's Nightwing.
Exactly. Oh my
He's
Lord. Yeah, because on Saturday night we recorded the big 150th episode of Up Before the Bat. We covered, me and Lilith had Ray on from Australia. We covered.
You covered Contagion, right?
The whole Contagion story, yes. And oh my Lord, you should see, like, especially in the Shadow of the Bat issues. I mean, like, Dick's ponytail looks like it's like at least 4 or 5 feet long.
I know there's a couple where that ponytail looks prehensile. Like,
yes.
And that could be another appendage.
Or like, it almost looks like he's...
It would honestly be quite useful if you could do that.
Oh yeah, it looks like he's swinging from it instead of a line, yeah.
Yeah, I know. I didn't get a chance to read Contagion, so...
Yeah. So yeah, and then during Nightfall, Jean Paul like spent basically all his time down in the cave and no one was home. So yeah, the house is kind of in a state of disrepair.
Right. Well, I mean, just because you let John Paul beat Batman doesn't mean you should let him move into your house.
Well, no, I mean, he basically didn't want to keep Robin and everyone out. I think he even like Jean Paul like bricked up the entrance behind the grandfather clock and everything. So
oh, okay,
yeah,
okay, because I know he said something about like old times.
Mm-hmm.
They're using the like little grandfather clock one instead of a big one. Well, anyway.
But yeah, and then there's like a page of Gordon and the mayor like examining all this damage, and that's from Night's End.
Yeah.
And
then you've got their amazing 90s computer.
Yes.
Which was so top notch then, but now we're like.
But yeah, see, Gordon calls in Bruce and Dick and Tim.
Yep.
Look at him pushing up his glasses like, what? Who are you?
Yep. And so I think it remains to be seen. Suspense. Does Gordon ever figure out who this new Batman is?
I mean, spoilers, they show that he figures out it's not Bruce, but it's like, again, I don't know, especially after the whole Jean Paul thing just went down. Why wouldn't Dick just say, Commissioner, it's me, Nightwing? Yeah,
and I mean, it seems like pretty obvious. I think Gordon would be able to figure it out.
He would think, but again, he'd be like, "Why didn't he come? Why didn't he have Nightwing in the first place?" But
right, but yeah,
I mean, it's not like Dick has to say, "Hey, it's me, Dick Grayson." He says, "Hey, it's me, Nightwing."
Well, right, yeah. Well, I mean, I'm definitely on team. Gordon knows and just pretends he doesn't.
Oh yeah, plausible deniability. If any government agency comes to him, I don't know who Batman is.
Like, I don't know. Yeah, I never had to confirm, but yeah, that was one of the best things about that Injustice. It was sad because that kangaroo died, and it was extra sad because Dick got killed by a rock. But it was funny because Commissioner Gordon had that moment where he's like, Barbara, I know you're Batgirl. What? How long have you known? Since the first night. And she's like, how do you know, Dad? And he goes, I'm a detective.
Did you ever read Batman Year One?
I think only part of it. I know the famous part where he's like going into Gotham.
Oh yeah, what the end like? Yeah, like Bruce, like it's the middle of the day, so Bruce isn't in costume. Yeah, he saves James Jr. when he was a baby, and like Gordon's standing there without his glasses on, so he's like, you better get out of here. I can't see your face. I don't have my glasses on. So he's standing right in front of him. So that's the thing. They're like, he knows, but he just made up the excuse. I'm not wearing my glasses.
Well, as a glasses wearer, that can be convenient.
Yeah.
Make it real safe. All right.
So yeah, Gordon tells them, Harbor Patrol found something strange. Look at these.
But then it's like,
marks.
Blah, blah. Skells playing cards, this kind of stuff. Then we come to a page I like. Look, I marked it, so I like it. I put a flag on it where they go to get a boat.
But yeah, before they leave Gordon says, just one thing, which one am I talking to tonight? So Gordon knows it's not Bruce.
Right, yeah, no, Gordon knows, yeah. I'm saying it remains to be seen, will he figure out that it's Nightwing? But
yeah, in the cave, Tim has to tell Dick who Killer Croc is because, remember, at this point in canon, Dick has never faced Killer Croc. It's not until Nightwing Year One, which we covered, that they kind of retcon that, so.
Well, although this is a retcon, because remember, Killer Croc was around in Jason's first version. Yeah, but that's already been retconned.
Yeah, but Dick wasn't there.
Well, no, in the very original, he was there. I'm talking Jason. I'm talking Jason as a trapeze kid.
Yeah, but I don't think Dick actually faced Croc. I didn't think.
Well, I don't know, but I mean, he knew about Killer Croc.
Yeah, he might have known, but yeah, he never faced.
Yeah, but in this one, it's like he doesn't even know.
Yeah.
Like,
Tim goes, Waylon Jones, and he's like, Waylon Jones is Killer Croc.
Like, okay.
Then we get a flashback to Nightfall, which me and Lilith just covered this. The end of Detective 660 and the beginning of Batman 494 is when Tim's was in the sewer with Croc and Bane. So check out Before the Bat episodes 148 and 149.
All right. Waylon's busting in, and then we get to my favorite part of this, where they're on some random speedboat, and Tim says, "We're gonna drop crime in its tracks by stealing a boat." Dick says, "Not quite stealing, Robin. More like borrowing one of Dad's toys." And then you see it is Wayne Tech Enterprises Marine Division, so it is in fact Bruce's boat. And then Tim says, "Toys got muscles," and Dick says, "That's our dad." I was like, "Aw, that's cute." Because they're being like a family.
I guess, but there's there's no bat boat out there anywhere?
Maybe Dropout Valley destroyed the bat boat.
Maybe. Or Bruce is out there building stuff, because it's not until No Man's Land that they show where Bruce is at right here, when he leaves and has Dick take over. He was building satellite bat caves under Gotham, which comes in handy during No Man's Land.
Of course, always.
Mm-hmm.
Always. But I like that because Dick and Tim being brotherly, also Dick kind of little sort of fatherly nod to Bruce. And I suppose it also shows a certain, Dick's been around Bruce for much longer, so Dick is at this point more comfortable just borrowing Bruce's stuff than Tim is. And that seems to make sense since Tim hasn't been working with Bruce quite that long.
So yeah, Croc's basically eating guys at the dock, trying to muscle back into the crime thing.
Yep. But then this kind of stuff is, I think this must be a reference to what, Showcase or something?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. That's what I thought. Showcase 94, I guess. So that was pretty good. But then you start seeing Dick, you can tell. I mean, obviously, it's a very not subtle build-up to what's going to be happening with Two-Face.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's every time they go out, Dick's like, "Oh, I'm worried about Two-Face." and how, so both ready. If you're thinking about you running with Two-Face, Dick, I won't make that kind of mistake. Dick's all like, "Good to know, but it's not you I'm worried about. The man died back then because I wasn't ready to be Robin."
So, Two-Face kids.
It's like Two-Face had a double plan for how to kill that guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't say that if I were in this situation, I wouldn't feel guilty either, but just because you feel guilty doesn't mean that you should.
But it just seems so random. It's just I just took over as Batman, and it's I'm not worried about any of these criminals except Two-Face. It's unless they've retconned it again, remember, did Robin die tonight? The Joker shot him in the shoulder.
Right, yeah, but I guess not anymore.
But he's worried about Two-Face.
Right, yeah. Well, to be honest, I'm glad a little bit they mixed it up.
Yeah.
And so, everybody's, big bad shouldn't be the Joker, because it gets overused. But yes. But it's just kind of ridiculous that, yes, it's very obvious from the very first issue, something is going to happen with Two-Face. Yeah,
because the whole Prodigal, it's basically Dick faces bad villains he's never faced before, with the exception of Two-Face. Yeah, everyone else is brand new to Dick. Yeah.
So yeah, kind of.
So
it's you get it, but at the same time, you're like, oh, what? You faced Two-Face that one time when you were Robin, and you've never faced him again.
Yeah, exactly. But he always had Bruce at his side. It's to
a certain extent, it does make sense that being the senior partner would, it's different pressure than being the junior partner, but also,
and I know
sometimes
I know, but then it's different, right? I know it's different writers and stuff, but it's this doesn't come up during Lonely Place of Dying, when they face Two-Face, all three of them face Two-Face, then nothing, no mention, nothing.
Right. It's just, well, and the other thing is they're like super beating you over the head with it.
Oh,
I mean, this is only Prodigal 1. And they're like, hey, Two-Face. Oh, gee. I think something's going to come up with Two-Face, maybe.
Maybe. So, yeah, they cruise by some warehouse. Hey, it's kind of late. It's kind of late for a shipment, isn't it?
Yeah, and then fighting Croc.
And Croc wants to know where Bane is because Bane broke Croc's arms twice.
So then he has to substitute in.
What? Oh, I love. He's like, where's Bane in Blackgate? He was dropped by you? By yes, the Batman.
Right? Yep. By the Batman. So he wasn't lying to him.
I love Croc's like, I got scores to settle with you, unless you've forgotten the times we've tangled. And Dick's like, how could I?
Yeah, right, exactly. And then he starts squeezing it. Well, Dick gives him it's like Austin Powers, judo chop. He gives him that little chop to the back, and then Croc turns around and is like squeezing him, but then somehow Croc is kind of goofy. He's squeezing him without grabbing his arms, so Dick's just like.
Yeah, and then the more goons show up with guns, so Tim's taking them on while Dick's trying to take down Croc.
Yep, and then they just pull Croc up in the crane or whatever.
That net thing, yeah. Although one of the gunmen gets off some shots and hits Croc in the net.
Yeah. So they say, call the police and an ambulance, and Tim comments how different that is than when being with John Paul Valley.
Yep.
So again, emphasis that he's made the right choice.
Yep. And then Gordon and his wife are talking at headquarters. Gordon's like, I don't know who I'm dealing with anymore. And she's like, I never bothered you before. He's like, because I always thought it was the same man. But now, just when I thought that man was finally back, there's a third one.
Yep. And then Dick, being all Dowdy McDowderson of himself again, is like, Tim's like, thanks for letting me for trusting me. He's like, sure, but those slugs could have hit you. He's like, yeah, but they didn't. And then Dick's all like, in this game, there's always a next time. And if I barely cut it as Robin myself and didn't do much better as Nightwing, what am I doing now? Really? I feel like that's kind of a ridiculous thing to say.
Yeah, I mean, they like I always say, they kind of, I don't know. Well, this time they're not dumbing him down, but it's just like they're kind of like dumbing down his confidence for this storyline, and then
right, yeah.
But it almost kind of works just because he's kind of shaken after everything that happened with the Titans and kind of getting kicked out,
Yeah, I mean, yes. On the one hand, it kind of works, but on the other hand, it's as subtle as a sledgehammer.
Oh yeah,
like, geez, people, you can have doubts about yourself without going so far to like, I was a totally piece of crap Robin, and Nightwing is, barely better. I mean, because sometimes he's practically like, Tim, you're better than me. I was like, for real? Tim's been doing this like 1 year, and you've been doing this 10 years.
Welcome to call.
Maybe if you want to say, Tim, you're smarter than me. Or like, Tim, you as a 14-year-old are smarter than I was as a 14-year-old. Because then, Tim's, 14 and you're like 21.
Yeah.
You're probably smarter than him.
Welcome to
in terms of more.
Welcome to Comics 1994. Beat you over the head with a sledgehammer.
Sheesh, I know. Jeez. All right, now.
Part 2.
New Cool Cat, Ventriloquist.
Shadow the Bat, 32. Part 2.
Alan Grant, I feel like he wrote something kind of famous.
He's written a lot of Batman. Like, he was on Detective for a while, and
okay, yeah, maybe that's what it is. Well, and Brian Steele Freeze with the cover. Oh, yeah, that's cool. He's famous. This cover is different.
Do you have the title page in the
Yeah.
Cool. I love that.
That's
why I love the Shadow. I'd say at least the first 50 Shadow the Bats, because they always get that title page. They're like the Shadow of the Bat falls upon. But this one is Prodigal Part 2.
Yep. That's cool though. Okay, this one has like a lot of generic mobstery kind of stuff that I feel like is not that exciting.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's basically.
I mean, in terms of what we want to talk about, I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
it sets up.
Yeah,
it sets up the story.
Yeah, because that's the ventriloquist. The ventriloquist it's just like a mobster, but his split personality works through the dummy Scarface. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. But we have this amazing, again, brother type page where Dick is cleaning and Tim comes over. Dick, Bruce told me a story once. 2 philosophers talked all day. Tim, and Dick, the mess was still there next morning. Tim, message received and understood, Captain. So.
Oh wait, you're gonna skip over the sledgehammer on page 3. Oh look, there's Two-Face in prison.
Oh yes.
Two-Face again? What a coincidence. Yep. The prisons are overcrowded?
I'm drowning in paperwork. 30 men on a transfer. And it's only supposed to be a dozen at the max. What's gonna happen?
But yeah, then we see...
So obviously by this time they've established that Tim lives near Bruce, right? I mean, because that was... not that clear. I mean, they didn't really talk about where Tim lived.
Yeah, well, like a couple...
in Lonely Place of Dying, right?
Yeah, no. He wasn't that close, but like, I'd say maybe 6 to 12 months before Nightfall. Tim and his dad moved it. They live in the house next door now.
Oh, they didn't? Oh, they hadn't always lived there? No. They moved there?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I guess I assumed they had retconned it, like, oh, it turns out the Drakes always live next door.
Oh, no. Yeah, no. Yeah, they moved in, I think it was Batman 480 or something. Yeah, they moved in next door, and then, like, before Gene Paul, like, bricked that up, I mean, he had a tunnel from his basement down to the Batcave.
Okay, yeah, I remembered that. Okay. Convenient.
So Ventriloquist and Scarface are just killing off, they're the big boss, wants to be the big boss again, so they're killing off gangsters, and they're handing out poison drugs, so all the other drug dealers get a bad rep in town. Yep.
But here, we got this one on page 6, very important. This is how Two-Face is going to get out.
Harvey.
He's hanging out. He's hanging out in there. Kent, Harvey Kent. He just walks by. I'm Harvey Kent. You deaf? Sign there and there. Check kiting has been dropped. Lack of evidence. You're walking. You don't know how lucky you are, Kent. Since it's got one good face, he just keeps walking on.
Nobody looked at that side of his face, yeah.
Yep. Plus, it's a fun fact because when Two-Face first appeared, he really was named Harvey Kent.
Yes.
I don't know. They changed it at some point.
Yes. I wonder if they just didn't want any confusion with Clark Kent, maybe.
Maybe. Or sometimes the letters in early comics are not always that clear.
Yes.
So I wouldn't be surprised if somebody thought the K was a D. But I think Harvey Dent sounds better anyway.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, that was a cool little shout out. So yeah, Two-Face is out and he didn't even have to do anything illegal. Well, I mean, I guess it's technically illegal to impersonate someone else.
Well, he didn't have to hurt.
But he didn't have to
hurt anyone or yeah.
Right, yeah. He didn't have any sort of elaborate gang bust. So it's his lucky day for sure. Oh yeah, there it is. Just like old days, they're going back down. So they must have unbricked the.
Oh yeah.
Unbricked the behind the claw.
So I guess they change into their costumes while they're walking down the stairs.
I guess they should have poles so it could be like Adam West and Burt Ward.
I know, it's just weird. I'm like, is there like a shelf like halfway down where you just like pick up your suit and you dress on the steps and just because they get to the bottom of the steps and they're fully dressed already.
I know. I mean, it's like, well, look how long those steps are. Mm-hmm. I mean, dang, forever. Yeah, you know how it is. Pretty funny.
And Dick's like, we better check the news before we tackle the night.
Yeah. Checking out the computer, and then he's like, oh, a ventriloquist, another new guy. Okay. But then they use the old school Batmobile. Didn't you say that's your favorite one?
That's one of my favorites. Yeah. Because the one that the 90s Batmobile, Gene Paul blew. Remember last episode he blew it up trying to kill Bruce. Yeah. So yeah, they're using the old one. Yes.
Well, that one is pretty sweet.
Oh yeah.
So boom, busting out, blah blah. Gordon still having his crisis, and he no longer knows the man in the costume. Except he does know the man in the costume.
Exactly.
He just knows him in a different costume.
Tell him, Dick. But yeah, Gordon and Bullock are checking out because, the ventriloquist, or should I say Scarface? It's weird because it's just a dummy, but it's the split personality. But yeah, they poison there's a bad batch of heroin on the street. So yeah, there's like, what did the news say? There was like 13 dead junkies found or something.
Now they're saying at least 20.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then they go to Scarface has some like little Scarface den.
It was like I think it was like a nightclub or something, but
Yep. He will come back in. It turns out.
See, this one's interesting too because even Tim's like, I haven't Tim even hasn't faced, I don't think, Scarface at this point either. So it's like they're both going in blind, kind of.
I see.
I love it.
And more throwing grenades.
I love how Tim's like, oh, it's hard to take the ventriloquist and Scarface seriously. And Dick's like, agreed, but just remember, at first sight, you might just think the Joker was only a clown.
Yeah, for sure. He is not. And then somebody starts throwing grenades, and Dick says, "Grenades, run, you fools!" Which is pretty funny. Because, you should run with grenades.
Yeah, because there's basically a gang war in the streets between Scarface's men and the another gang.
And then it's kind of cool, but this is also like so 90s. This page where Dick's intimidating the information out of that guy. Oh my god, so 90s.
Putting on the Bruce face. I mean, look how his face looks so bigger, so much bigger, like Bruce's almost. Look at him.
I know. Well, look how scary that face is.
But his jaw just looks bigger, like Bruce's. I mean, unless.
Right, but I guess he's up close in that guy's face, so maybe that's why it looks like that.
I love. Dick's like, oh, would you rather I make you tell me? The guy's like, you can't, that ain't legal. I'm a vigilante. That means I can do whatever I want to you.
Yep. Start talking, scum. And then, it's nice though. It's nice though, again, to have Tim giving the positive reinforcement. He's like, nice bluff. John Paul would have just beaten it out of him. And Dick, that's why he lost the job. And then, boom, we're finally at Scarface. Which I must admit, I like the way they animate Scarface better in the animated series than I like how he is here. I don't know, there's like too much blood on his face or whatever. I don't know. Scarface is kind of cute in the animated series.
Yeah. But yeah, then he's like, he's Scarface with the ventriloquist is threatening this mob boss. You're just a dummy. No ordinary dummy, sucker. And he's telling him how they made him from the wood of the Blackgate Gallows, and dozens of killers and arsonists and maniacs and worse died hanging from me.
That is quite the origin story.
Yep.
Quite the origin story.
Rhino, quit it, boss. You're spooking me. Shut up.
But yeah, then they just kind of bust in. Boom. That's
Batman Robin.
Relatively
Yep.
easy.
Through the window. Yep.
I'm taking you in. So he throws a ventriloquist. Or, I mean, he throws the dummy.
Yep. Yeah, because Dick catches ventriloquist and he throws Scarface down the Rhino who's waiting. He gets away.
Yep. And then I love how he thinks the guy picks up the ventriloquist and he thinks it's going to be, a way to flee the country, and it's just a ventriloquist book. So Wesker's like, you got the dummy. You got to start being how to be a ventriloquist.
Yeah, because he's like, if the backup plan, just go to this locker. And it's like,
Which is funny. But of course, again, it's ending with this kind of ridiculous doubtfulness. Like, the new Batman should be satisfied, but a faint doubt nags at his mind. Something about double X. So again, Two-Face is coming!
Well, yeah, especially the last page of the issue, too. You got Two-Face sitting there flipping his coin.
Well, yes. Right.
Because he's decided anarchy in the streets.
Yep. And then finally, part 3, Bad Detective 679. So we're back. Dixon's writing this one.
Yep.
Again.
Dixon.
But a different artist.
Yeah, Dixon probably wrote most of these because he wrote Detective and Robin, so.
I feel like Dixon wrote everybody in the 90s.
Oh,
then
yeah.
when Nightwing first got his thing, he wrote Nightwing, and when Birds of Prey first got their thing, he wrote Birds of Prey, right?
Yeah, at one point, I think he was writing, Nightwing, Birds of Prey, Robin, and Detective all at the same time, I think. So, yeah, you had a lot of interconnected.
That's insane.
Made crossovers easier.
Well, yeah, that is true, but...
And I think at that point, too, even, he might have been writing the Green Arrow book. Like, they had killed off Oliver Queen, and they had his son Connor Hawke running around. So I think Dixon was writing Green Arrow, too, at that point.
Oh, my God.
I know.
Guy was pumping him out.
Yeah, he loved those street-level characters, man. But yeah, this one, another new villain for Dick. Otis Flanagan, the Ratcatcher, is up for parole.
This villain is weak, though. Yeah. Come on.
Yeah, I forget. I think at this point he only made like one other appearance. I think so.
I mean,
but they were digging. Yeah. They were digging. They wanted someone Dick hadn't faced before.
Yeah, and I can't even believe they already had an established villain that was a Ratcatcher.
Yeah, because he pulls out his he's been doing some wood carving in prison, and his little flute calls
little rat pipe. He is basically the Pied Piper.
Yep. Which drives the parole board nuts, but yeah, then all the rats show up.
Yeah.
But hey,
see, then we get a good. I mean, Dick, of course, is still undercutting himself, but sounds like your guess was on the money. Tim says. Dick, not much of a guess after reading Ratcatcher's file. He was bound to try something his first time out of Blackgate.
Yep.
But, at least you figured it out.
So yeah, I don't know how. Again, it's like the middle of the night. I know it's Gotham, but we do parole hearings in the middle of the night.
It's more atmospheric that way.
I guess because I don't know what floor they're on, but yeah, Ratcatcher tries to go out the window, and Dick's like, "Give it up! You can't get far in those manacles." And they call me dangerous. At least I never dress like a rat.
Yeah. Don't knock it till you try it, dude.
I know. They're 5 stories up, yeah.
Yeah, and then all these rats.
Yep, calls more rats. And Dick's like, don't move, Robin. A lot of them might be rabid. Don't make them bite.
And then Tim's trying to run away, and he starts to fall. Bonehead Playboy wonder. I mean, which is, kind of true. But then Tim's all like, sorry, I forgot I was out with Mr. Perfect. which I actually salute them. I'm glad they didn't have Dick give some rejoinder like, oh, I'm not perfect. Did I tell you about that time with Two-Face? Because then I would have been like, oh my God.
Exactly.
Give it a rest.
So they're like, okay, back to square one. He tells Tim to go look up any information on Ratcatcher because just like with Ventriloquist, neither one of them has any experience with this guy. So
yeah,
which
no.
Tim finds the information from Ratcatcher's first appearance. It was Detective Comics. I remember it was like I think it was like 580 or 590 something. Yeah, he was he was originally sent to jail because he killed a guy in a barroom brawl. But then years later, when he got out, like he kept like the judge and like was it some of the jurors? He held him prisoner in the sewer for like years, I think.
Oh yeah, it says he helped in cells in the sewers for 5 years.
Yep. Yeah, Batman just like stumbled upon him. I think he was like chasing another crook, and he finds this whole thing. Yeah,
that's messed up.
Mm-hmm.
Then he also finds out Two-Face has been out.
Well, that can't be right. Harvey Dent was put on early release. I love how they accidentally let him out as Harvey Kent. So what? Did the cops looking like, oh, we accidentally released Harvey Dent. Who cares? Just put it in the system. He'll be back.
I don't know. And then Tim's dad comes in.
He's like,
tickets.
Hey, what about a night out in the real world?
Yeah.
Because see, Tim's the first Robin to have this problem. He has a live parent that hide his secret from.
Yeah. Which, is interesting. I don't know. I kind of feel like it was, like I said, we were talking about when he was first invented, he had parents, and Marv Wolfman's thing was, I don't want him to be as angsty, but he gets angsty fast.
Mm-hmm.
He gets angsty quickly because they kill off his mom, and then his dad is sick, but then they have it be, angsting about, I can't tell my dad my secret.
Yep.
Angst.
But yeah, Tim's like, I feel bad. He's like, the Ratcatcher's loose and now Harvey Dent. And I love Dick's like, probably to make Tim feel better. He's like, Two-Face, he hasn't been out long enough to come up with one of his goofy schemes. I'm like, how long does a Two-Face scheme come? It takes like 5 minutes. Oh, hey, what can I rob or steal that has the number 2 in it?
Also, just because he's been out doesn't mean that he hasn't been scheming all the time he's in prison. Exactly. What the heck else are you going to do there?
Exactly. Like I said, maybe he's just saying that so Tim doesn't feel bad, so Tim will go with his father. Yeah,
probably. And then see, look how long his hair's gotten in that one.
Mm-hmm.
His hair's already long again. It gets longer when it's in a ponytail, which I think is not really what happened. And then remind me again how Harold ended up there.
He he was well, I think he might have been from like was it the Question Book or something? I didn't read like his earlier appearances, but like eventually the Penguin finds him and like tried to convince him, "Oh, I'm your friend. Why don't you come build stuff for me?" And then after Batman busts up whatever scheme the Penguin had go, and he's like tells Harold has like nowhere to go. He's like, "Why don't you come in with me and build stuff for me?"
Right, but like Harold lives full time in the cave.
Yeah. Well,
it's kind of weird.
Well, he got killed during Hush. Spoilers, but yeah.
Yeah, I knew he got killed at some point. Yeah. But I felt like by that point they had forgotten about Harold.
Oh yeah.
Because when I read and he got killed, I was like, oh yeah, that dude. But I swear the last time I saw him was like Prodigal. I mean, they almost never talk.
The very last time I think he's seen until he shows back up again in Hush is like after the earthquake, they dig out and then like No Man's Land starts and there's like no mention of Harold. So I remember him helping them dig out, right after the earthquake hit, and that was it.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird thing because, I don't doubt. I mean, it sounds good. Yes, you should help this dude. But you make him live permanently in the cave?
I don't know if he makes him or if he wants to, because I think most of the time they had him like there was a different version of Ace at this point. So like, Harold and Ace just like lived in the Batcave.
So weird.
I know.
Well, and other than the thing that Harold can't talk.
Yes.
Like, okay.
Because that's the thing.
Harold, he's not deaf, is he? He doesn't have vocal cords or something?
Yeah, he's like mute or something. Because that's the thing. Like, Harold kind of like planted something in the Batcave for Hush. That's the whole thing when he comes back is like Hush fixes him, but then like kills him at, like the last part of Hush. Yeah.
That looks like such a Dick face, though. That feels like the right kind of face on Dick as Batman, as opposed to like.
Oh, and he says, with the smile, they're not pets, Harold.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, because he's talking about going into the sewers to look for Ratcatcher. Then he says something. We spent enough time down there when we were looking for Killer Croc. Since when? I thought they were on the river.
Wait, what?
He says we spent enough time in the sewers when we were looking for Killer Croc. But I'm like, are they talking about the first part of Prodigal? Weren't they on the river? Change of plans, maybe. Change of plans, maybe in the story, especially when you're dealing with different writers.
Maybe they were in the story a little bit.
Yeah.
Calling him Timbo, I like that. But I mean, I get it, but also it's funny. You get to have all the fun until tennis is over. My dad picked a lousy time to reestablish our relationship. Yeah. And then be thankful you have those kinds of problems, Tim. You almost lost your dad twice.
Yeah.
And that's a nice one. Because I feel like there's one time where Tim's complaining about his dad. It's like, oh, I had to lie to my dad again. And Dick's like, be thankful you have someone to lie to. That's a different one. And it's kind of like, I've seen some people on the internet be like, ooh, that's so mean. or whatever. And like, it's not quite as a nice retort as this one. But, you can kind of see it. Yeah, it sucks lying to your parents. But also, it also kind of sucks to say, oh, gee, I hate lying to my parents to your friend who's like, my parents are dead.
I mean, it was hard for Tim, too, because it's like, they even said, it's like, if Tim tells his dad and he's Robin, that's one thing. But hey, guess what? Who's he been hanging out with? Bruce Wayne. Guess who Bruce Wayne is? He's like, he's going to piece everyone's identity together. I tell him I'm Robin. He's going to know who everyone is.
Oh, yeah. No. No, I just mean I get both sides when they say, like, I can understand, Dick having to come back like, oh, when, you have to lie to your parents. My parents are dead. But I also get Tim's side like, oh, it's hard lying to my parents.
But yeah, I love these two joking around because, Dick's like pretty sad. The guy's talking about Ratcatcher. The guy spends all his time underground with a bunch of rodents for company. And Tim's like, yeah, glad I don't know anyone like that, Batman.
That's right. Yeah. Watch yourself.
And Tim said,
but yeah, this would have been a good point. This page when
yes, every time I think, oh, Dick should have told Gordon who he is. This page right here is what I always think about. Yeah,
I don't know you. And then he says, "I'm a cop. You think you'll fool me forever? The put-on voice is different. Your frame isn't quite as large. You're several inches shorter." So yeah, this would have been the perfect time for him to be like, "Yeah, I'm Nightwing." Mm-hmm. Then Gordon could rest easier.
At least he's like the other one, the armored one. He's going for good. Yes, at least there's that.
Yep. Small favors. Small favors.
And again, to the Two-Face Harvey Dent, you were aware he's allowed to escape?
Yep.
Some escape.
And then Two-Face going to the bar, saying the most Two-Face thing possible, make it a double.
Yeah, make it a double.
And then creepy Rat Man.
Yep. Yes, he used to be an exterminator, but yes, he's like, But
then you see that Batman has cool toys and Dick is smart. How do we find this Ratcatcher? We'll just put a little tracking device on a rat because eventually he's going to call for his, as he calls them, his rat legions.
And he's using the subway rocket. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's like a special Batmobile that just runs on the subway tracks.
Yeah, it's just like a train. Yeah. Because I know, Gene Paul used it a lot during Nightfall and stuff. I mean, if you stay off the same, if you just have empty track, I forget the thing goes like a couple 100 miles an hour. Because I remember Gene Paul's like, I could be in Midtown in like minutes.
That's pretty sweet.
Mm-hmm.
That is pretty sweet.
So yeah,
and then his Ratcatcher's whole nefarious plan is to stop up the city's main pump and flood the subways and commuter tunnels.
Yep. And I love
which is annoying, but not exactly super villain.
Well, I think he was talking about I don't know if talking to are we going to get disease and whatever else.
Yeah,
we're just going to ransom. If you don't want any more poop water on your tracks, send me the $1 million.
But he's just like he just like wants
$1 million.
So, Batman pretty easily beats him up, and
because Dick put that tracker on the rat, and because Ratcatcher's calling all the rats to him. I love it. I call him Radio Rat. Who?
Yep. And then they send the rats away, and then setting something big up. Killer Croc, Ventriloquist, and Ratso here are dangerous in their own way, but still minor league. Two-Face is a whole nother story. I wonder what'll happen next.
Yeah, Dick has that device to drive the rats away. I didn't gather them here for you to cause them pain. A little situational ethics, rat hugger.
Yup.
See, a lot more fun dialogue than you get with Bruce.
Sure.
So he drives all the rats away. If this works, it should be like fingernails on a blackboard to these rats, or at least Yoko Ono singing.
I know, that's like such an old timey reference there.
But yeah, Two-Face is a whole nother story. So I think we got a nice little setup here. Dick's got the job. Dick's working the city. He's got everything under control so far.
So far.
Oh yeah. So yeah, like we said, we got three more episodes of this.
Yep. See how long Two-Face goes on.
Hopefully not too long.
I see what you did there.
What can I say?
Because they've kind of like done the villains pretty quickly here.
Oh yeah, all one and dones. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
So yes, next week we'll be covering Robin 11, which will be more Tim focused. Then back to Batman 513 and Shadow the Bat 33 for part 2.
All right. Sounds like a plan. I'm just checking through. We get the joy of watching Dick do laundry, which is exciting.
Well, there's a funny scene with when Bruce comes back, like him and Tim are trying to do laundry, and the machine's just like overflowing, and I think Bruce is like, I know I put the right amount of detergent in this time, and Tim's like, oh, you mean after I did?
Oh, so they both put detergent in?
I think it's the issue Alfred comes back. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's funny.
All right.
Just glancing through, the Two-Face situation will not be resolved yet. Next week.
Oh no! They're
stretching it out.
Yeah, Two-Face is the one that takes a couple issues. Yeah, no. Although it's kind of interesting because it's like the whole Two-Face thing builds up like in the middle for a bunch of issues, and then like he doesn't get defeated. It's before the last part, so you still get like a couple issues after Two-Face too.
Yeah.
You know, you have stuff in the before Two-Face and after Two-Face, and Two-Face is like the big meaty middle part. Yeah.
Yup. For sure.
Because it's funny because, you know, well, I mean, we'll get there, but, you know, Dick's like, okay, I beat Two-Face. I got the monkey off my back and I still got to do this.
Yeah, but not very long. They wrap it up. They wrap it up pretty quick.
Yep. All right. Anything else?
I think that about does it all.
All right. So, everyone, like we said, come back next week for Robin 11, Batman 513, and Shadow of the Bat 33. But hey, send us all your feedback for Prodigal. You know, I save it up, so send us all your thoughts. capesandlunatics@gmail.com. Call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember to follow Nightwing News on Facebook, on Twitter. You could find our stuff on the Capes and Lunatics Instagram account. Hey, check out the YouTube channel. You can see our smiling faces right up there. Get the raw audio before I even edit for the podcast.
Raw audio.
That's right, raw. Anyway, find all of everything all in one convenient place. That's Linktree, linktr.ee/capesandlunatics. And remember to support our sponsors and our friends. Tweaked Audio, Hunt a Killer, Pod Life the book, now in digital and paperback. And also, not a sponsor, but hey, pick up Dick Grayson, Boy Wonder. I mean, if you're listening to this, you're obviously a fan of the greatest figure in American literature, Dick Grayson. So hey, go pick up Dick Grayson, Boy Wonder. And when you buy this book and Pod Life the book, and well, these days when you're buying everything on Amazon, use the Southgate Media Group link right down there in the show notes. Yes, in the podcast, on the YouTube, right down there in the show notes. Send some money to Rob, help put these up, because believe it or not, these do cost money.
Go back and look at my history, and you will find out I am right so much more often than I'm wrong.
That's right, Master of Doom.
Mark my words.
All right. This is my weirdest show, because I always have like a co-host who will like plug stuff. You don't plug stuff.
Nope.
You're like,
let you take care of it.
You're like, I wish I can achieve the heights of greatness that that woman who put Dick Grayson and Boy Wonder together has.
Know it. You know it.
Look at the name of the bottom of that book. That's obviously a pen name. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Again, join us next time for more Dick as Batman. And I think something's going to start happening. The Two-Face thing. Oh, we are. We did make a change to the schedule. I think we messed up. So after Prodigal, the next episode will be Nightwing Alfred's Return, followed by the miniseries. Then we get into the first ongoing series. Dixon, Scott McDaniel. So remember, it's a good time to be a Nightwing fan. DC may have abandoned you, but we have not. Come back next time. Same wing time. Same wing channel.
Same wing channel.
Fine, Graysons.